from his own words, that international media seems to have taken over in shaping that narrative, and it seems that is what now is believed out here. I want to ask you a question on your own assessment, because we have media on the continent, the African media, in telling the African story. All these are beautiful things happening in Rwanda. And I want to hear your thoughts on either a failure or a lack of interest. What would you prescribe to the Pan-African media, quote unquote?
See, let me preface my response by saying that in Africa, we have now turned the art of complaining into a science, and we must stop that. We must tell our story and invest in telling that story. We don't. So that we as it were, wedded to what we call international media, to BBC, France, Al Jazeera, and all these. And we can keep on complaining until the cows come home, and they will not. So the time is now for us to have media that tells our story, because that is what we want the world to know about us. Are we investing in that? We are not. And sometimes we don't have the budget to support that. But if we look at some of these things regionally, for example, within the context of East African community and within the context of the African Union, and we are able to tell our stories, even to articulate our understanding of governance as being specific to our circumstances, then people will begin to consume that story.
Yeah.
We don't. So I think the time has come that we must stop agonizing and begin organizing. We must not have media which is involved, which thinks that news is importing domestic squabbles and little disagreements amongst politicians. We must stop that and begin to engage in a proper manner. I watch news about Africa in different media, and you can see that people invest in this thing. You have somebody, whether you like them or not, in Al Jazeera. He's actually based in Kigali. But take any typical African media. They'll be in Nairobi and reporting about an event in Rabat, Morocco. They don't know what is happening. They're just listening to other media, and then they pick it up and present it as their own. I think, in conclusion, the time is now. Tell our story. Tell it in a manner that is believable. Let us have the story backed with verifiable evidence. And in the fullness of time, people will begin to understand and embrace our story because it is evidence-based and verifiable.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.